Hello everyone, welcome to the third part of the Valkyrie tutorial series. This time we will deal with some more trigger events, like events that are triggered at the end or the start of a round, and an event that is triggered when the heroes have no more morale left. Furthermore, we will look into some special defeated events which are triggered when a specific monster group is being defeated. So let's first look at our round end events. We left off here with the story that the heroes have to survive for at least 3 rounds after they open this door. So that's why we're going to start here with an event that sets a variable that the game knows that the last door has been opened. So we go to our first event, which is called when the door is opened, and now we assign a variable called last door opened. We'll assign it to 1. And now we will go on to our following events. This one here. Oh no. The last event in this event chain. In this event, we had already indicated that the heroes would have to survive for 3 rounds. This is set by a variable here. And now we will furthermore add another variable we call Valkyrie magic round. We will set it to 0 as seen here. And now we will add a new event which is not connected to this objective event here. We will call it end round. And as already shown in the other 2 videos, we will add a trigger event using this trigger function here, and we will add the start round trigger. So this event is called end round. This event is called at the end of each round. So normally we want to do the following. We want to set all our variables in this event and all logic that happens in another event, which will be recalled a few times. So that's why we now add another follow-up event here. We'll call it end round events. And now we will add another follow-up event we will call Valkyrie magic. And this event contains 3 different follow-up events, which will be called at the end of each of the following 3 rounds. So we will start with the first one, and we will call it Valkyrie magic 1. I'll just copy this and 2 more events, magic 2 and magic 3. Okay. So now the magic 1 event should only be called in the first round after the heroes have opened the door, the magic 2 in the second round, and the magic 3 in the third round. This event will have some text, so we will add a button sound again. By the way, if you don't add text to an event, it will just be skipped and the next follow-up event will automatically be called, but still the audio will be played if you add audio to one of the events. So now we have a continue button here. And in this event, we're now going to test if the Valkyrie magic round has been set to 1. So currently this would never happen. That's why we need to increase the Zachareth magic round, as I already said, in the end round event by 1 every time. So at the end of each round, the Zachareth magic variable will be increased. Okay. So let's add the same logic for the other follow-up events. So Zachareth magic 2 will not assign, but test if the magic round equals 2. And the last event will test if the magic round equals 3. And it has a button and some audio. The second event, the same. So now furthermore, I have to check my other code again to see which variables will be increased for the events and which text they contain. So the first text I'll add for the Magic 1 event says that the heroes who are standing on 14 or 16B, that's the fields where those search tokens here are, will lose some life and are burning, and the life are already stated as a variable again. So I'll set this here in the assign field. And they will lose 2 life. And the second event lets the monsters attack the heroes, and it adds some additional damage too, so we set this to, and they will lose 2 life again. And for the third event, we will have some special logic. In this case, Zachareth destroys the castle where the heroes are currently in. And this will be the last event called in the whole mission, so we will have a follow-up event. So that's why we will add 2 events here. Zachareth final spell check. Did all heroes survive Zachareth's last attack? We'll have a yes and a no answer here. The yes answer will have green color and the no answer will have red color. And the yes event will be the victory event. And the no event will be the defeated again event. So add some flavor text here. And the rule text, the heroes have lost this encounter. We'll make this bold. And now something special. After this event, the mission should be over. So we will add another special event here. We will call this event end encounter. And this event does nothing else except setting a special variable, which is a built-in variable again. It is called end. It is. And if we set this variable to 1, the encounter will automatically end, and the heroes will get to the rating screen of the encounter and afterwards to the main menu again. So we'll copy this for the victory event. And here instead of lost 1. And, oh no, not a new event, but our already existing end encounter event. Okay. So let's test this now. So our event chain would now already start because I forgot to add the end round or last door opened variable to be checked for the end round event. So at the end of each round, now our Zechereth events will already start. So I have to go back and go to our end round events again. And now we will say the Zechereth magic check should only be executed when last door opened equals 1. So if the heroes have already opened this door. Okay, let's test this again. So this time no end round event will happen. And if we go to the last door now, and end the round afterwards, I'll just kill all the monsters to make it faster. The first Zechereth spell arrives. And when we end the next round, the second spell is cast. And if we end it for the third time, the last event is called and the check if the hero survived. And if I click yes now, the encounter ends after this event. So if I click continue, I will be back in the main menu because there's no rating for the test mode. Okay. So in addition to our already existing end round event, we now want to add another event which adds some stuff at the start of each round. Because as you already saw, if the heroes defeat all of the monsters, it will be quite easy for them to win the mission, even if the Zechereth magic deals some damage. So that's why I'm going to add a new event now. It will be called Start Round. And it has another trigger called Start Round. And as already said for the end round events, we will have a follow-up event, which is called Start Round Events. And before we add our new spawn events now, I'm going to do something special because this time we're going to set here another variable and we call it monsters spawned. No, not like this. Monsters spawned. Copy this. And it will be set to 0. You will see in a moment why I'll do this. So our start round events will now trigger the spawn event, or in this case, multiple spawn events, because we want to spawn the monsters here and here. And this should be done randomly. No, not like this. We're gonna need a spawn here instead of an event. So our first spawn is end round gate spawn, which will be here. And it will be one of the monsters we have already spawned before. So no new monsters will be spawned, but instead one of the groups we have used before. So for example, if we go to our spawns ini, we will take the gate monsters 1. The text will say something like we said before, place the type group on to be respecting group limits. And another follow-up event, which will spawn the monsters here. So this will be another new spawn. We'll call it item monsters 1. And the type will be item monsters. And I can copy the text from the other event again, but I will change the position. So this is 14B, and it has a button sound again. Okay. Now, as I said before, this should only be happening once. Maybe we want to add more monsters here. That's why this event will now call the end round events again. So we will make a loop of events, the start round event. Okay, like this. So this time it would loop unlimitedly the spawn events, but we don't want to do this. That's why we're gonna set in the gate spawn event. And here we will now set our variable monster spawns to 1. So when we now add another test which checks if the variable is 0, this means only if the variable is set to 0, this event will be called. And even if it is 0, it would be set to 1 afterwards. So it can't be called again. So the event chain will start, the follow-up event will follow, the start round event will be called, and this time it will not call the end round gate spawn again because the variable is already 0. And only in the following rounds, when we go to our start rounds event again, where we set the variable to 0, the event chain will start. And one last thing we want to do now is we have to add a check to the end round gate spawn that it will not be called at the end of the round if the last door has not been opened. So again, our variable last door opened needs to equal 1. Otherwise, this event would be called at the start of the first round when starting the whole encounter. We don't want this, and this would even make the mission get an error because if one of the monsters has not been initialized before and you use it as a type, this will make the whole mission go to an error state and you can't do anything afterwards anymore. If we test this now, just as a check, there should be nothing happening now at the end and the start of the round. And if we start our last door events now, at the end of the next round, of this round, the magic of Zachareth should happen again. Here, and now the start round event will follow, so a monster will be spawned and another monster here. Okay. So now we want to add some more randomness to our start round monster spawns. So maybe different monsters spawning at the start of the round. So that's why we are going to add different gate spawns here. So this gate spawn was the monsters from the gate which spawned before. And now another gate spawn and round, gate spawn 2. Will spawn at the same position, but it will be another monster type. So this time we are going to use the Shadow Dragon group. Everything else will be the same as in the first gate spawn event, so I can copy the text. And I need to add the check again here. Monster spawn equals 0 and last door opened equals 1. Okay. And we will assign monster spawns to 1 again. And afterwards, we have our follow-ups again. So the item monsters 1. And we will now add item monsters 2 spawn. And this spawn will be the gate spawn. So our gate monsters 1. And it will use the same text again, but it will be 14B and have a button sound. And again, this will call the start round chain. Not the start round, but the start round events chain. Okay, and one thing I wanted to show here now, you can say how the follow-up event should follow. So it should be an ordered way or a random way. And this time I'm going to set this to random. So randomly this event will be called or this event. And the same for this one here. So random 2. So the gate monsters 1 could be spawned or maybe the shadow dragons. Let's test this again. Our monsters spawn. I will kill all of them. And now let's see which monster will be called when we start the start round event. The shadow dragons and the infernal Hulk. And now if we try it again, it's the bone horrors instead, but the infernal Hulks at this position again. So it will be bring a little bit more randomness in your missions. So one last thing we're gonna have to do for this video. The heroes have only 0 moral, so the next time a hero dies, something bad will happen and the heroes will lose the mission. And to make this happen, we will add another event we will call no moral. And you can already guess we have a trigger here again, and there's a so-called no moral trigger. And we will add a little text here. So add some flavor text. This text could say something like the heroes are not able to stand against the monsters anymore and are knocked out or something like that. And afterwards, the defeated event will be called. So quite easy, but you should add a no moral event to all of your missions. Otherwise, when the heroes have died too often, nothing would happen. So let's test this. The moral has been set to 0. And if I use the KO event now again, our no moral event is called automatically and the defeat event afterwards. Now what we still need to fix is that this no moral event will always be called when the moral reaches 0, also when the heroes have not opened the last door before. That's why we will change this here a bit. We will remove the text of this event. We will not directly call the defeated event. Instead, we will make another event before this. So no moral before last door. This checks that last door opened equals 0. Some flavor text. And we will add the heroes have been defeated text here. So add some different flavor text. So this event will be called if the heroes have no moral even before they have reached the last door. And yes, this will be followed by the end encounter event. And another no moral event, this event will be called if the heroes have already reached the last door. So adding a new event here. No moral last door opened. The heroes cannot stand against the monsters and have to look how Zacharath crushes their friends. And now the no moral event, the defeated event again. Where is it here? Okay. So let's test this again. Two moral, KO1, KO2, and KO3. The different flavor text, the defeated text, and back in the main menu. And another test. We start our door opened events again. And now we will lose the moral. And now we get the last door opened no moral text and our normal defeated text. And we are back in the menu. So why else could we be using this event chain for the start round events? So for example, there could be other follow-up events which will be called here. Not only the spawns, but also the so-called perils we will know, or we know from the Road to Legend app. The perils are some bad effects happening if the heroes don't win their missions fast enough. And yeah, this could be called from here. And the same could be done for the end round events, so additional checks. Maybe one check at the end of the round, which is already happening before the last door has been opened. So Now we have everything together for our first mission. We have all the tiles placed, we have all the tokens and doors placed. We have the logic which places the tiles on the map when the heroes opens the door. We have our monsters which spawn on the map on the different locations. And we have our special rules which are somehow happening. So in our case, the 3 rounds the heroes have to survive. And we have the moral events when the heroes die too often. And the events which are called when the heroes win or lose the mission. So this is all you need for your first mission. In the next videos, I'm gonna show some more details how you can do some more expanded stuff, like adding sound effects, which are not built-in sound effects, and also maybe some graphics, and how you can translate the texts of your missions. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.